I'm going to talk about rates and proportions. Okay? Let me start by reminding everybody what a ratio is, since both of these topics are related to ratios. A ratio is an ordered set of numbers. Okay? Fractions are an example of a ratio. It's one type of ratio. All right? A rate is another type of ratio. Let me define rates now. A rate is a ratio of two numbers that denote measurements. Okay? So, not all ratios involve measurements. Not all fractions involve measurements. All rates involve measurements. Let me give you two examples. To communicate how fast a car is driving down the highway, to determine how fast a car is driving down the highway, you need to make a distance measurement and simultaneously a time measurement. Okay? People can say that a car is driving down the highway at 65 miles per hour. Okay, that is a rate. Also, you might measure the growth in an investment of money. All right, maybe that investment was growing at 3% every year. Okay, so that's a percentage measurement combined with a time measurement. There's two examples of rates. Okay, rates are ratios of two numbers that denote measurements. All right, let me now switch gears and talk about proportions. Proportions are equations that relate ratios. Okay? So let me give you two examples. Suppose I knew that half a pizza was the same as 2/4 of a pizza. All right? If I say 1/2 equals 2/4, then I've just stated a proportion. Suppose I know that if a car is driving 20 miles per hour, then the car is going just as fast as another car that goes 10 miles every half hour. If I state that those two cars are going the same, if I say that those two ratios are the same, I've created another proportion. Okay? The game that we are going to play with proportions is trying to figure out missing numbers in proportions. For example, 3/5 is equal to what number over 20? Okay, well, 5 times 4 is equal to 20, so that might help you to see that 3/5 is equal to 12/20. Okay, so that 12 is the missing number. So let me erase the question mark and put a 12 there. Okay? Let me do another example. How about 2/7 is equal to 4 over what? Okay? So you might know that 4 is 2 times 2, and so that might help you to see that the missing number is 14. The missing number is 7 times 2. So let me erase the question mark and put a 14 there. All right, so let me close by having you try finding the missing number in some proportions. Okay? So 16/64 is equal to some mystery number over 8. Pause the video and try to see if you can figure what that missing number is now. Okay, I'll go ahead and show you how I would determine it. So if I divide 64 by 8, I get 8. If I divide 64 by 8, I get 2. So 2 is the missing number. Okay? Let's try another one. 49 over 14 is equal to 7 over mystery number. So pause the video and try to figure out what that missing number is. Okay, I'll go ahead and show you how I would determine it. So 49 divided by 7 gives me 7. 14 divided by 7 gives me 2. So the answer to this one is also 2. What about the following problem? 35 over 5 is equal to 49 over some unknown number. Can you pause the video and try to solve that one? Okay, I'll go ahead and solve this one. So for this one, what I would recommend is reducing the first fraction. So that would mean I would have 7 over 1 is equal to 49 over mystery number. And to, let's see, so 7 times 7 gives me 49. 1 times 7 is 7, so the mystery number is 7. Okay? Now, let me show you a pattern that you could use to solve every proportion. Okay? If I have two numbers, let me denote them by letters. If A over B is equal to C over D, okay, then that is the same as, or that corresponds to saying that the product of A and D is equal to the product of B and C. Okay, if you look at the proportions that I listed, you will see that this property is always true. For example, I said that 1/2 was equal to 3/4. Okay, so 1 times 4 is 4. Excuse me, 1/2 is equal to 2/4. So in this example, A is 1, B is 2, C is 2, and D is 4. So A times D is 1 times 4, corresponds to 1 times 4, and B times C corresponds to 2 times 2, and so it checks out. Okay, so let this pattern be your guide to solve some tricky proportion problems.